Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen from the conference in Malaysia. My name is Ivaylo Tassev, and I'm video recording and presenting with slides my article. The title is The Islamic State Khorasan's Recent Reorganization and Remaining Threat for Central Asia in 2024. So, I'm examining the so-called branch of Islamic State Khorasan, ISK Khorasan. This is a branch of the terrorist organization Islamic State, which is active in Central Asia. So I'm looking at future trends and scenarios, as well as risk and danger from this branch in 2024. The scope is social sciences, the subthemes is politics. This is my name, Ivaylo Valentinov Tassev. I follow the article like introduction, literature review, discussion and conclusion. And I put some references. First, introduction. The article looks at the activities of the Islamic State Khorasan province, ISKP, or ISK in Central Asia, and particularly in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Next, I look at the literature review, the authors which have described this so-called ISK. And at the end, I provide some discussion on recent events and future threats by this branch in 2024. So I follow the structure like introduction, literature review, and discussion. The second, literature review. Actually, as you know, the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS or ISIL, was established in 2014 when Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the first caliph, established a caliphate in the Middle East, firstly with Iraq and Syria, and then he wanted to expand to other countries. But however, in 2019, this so-called caliphate, which functioned as a state, was broken down. It had a decline. It doesn't function anymore as a state. In the beginning, it was functioning as a state, but later on, it was defeated. Now, it's active like a terrorist organization with various branches around the world. There are like 2,500, 3,500 fighters across Iraq and Syria. And there are other branches like in Afghanistan and Pakistan, in Central Asia, in some parts of Africa, Sahel region, and other places. So Islamic State is functioning as on a cell level with different branches. It doesn't function anymore as a state like in the beginning. Now we focus on the ISK, Islamic State Khorasan province. Why is called Khorasan? Khorasan is a province in Central Asia, in Afghanistan, and it's a very famous place, old place. So actually the ISK, this branch, was established along with the creation of ISIS itself in 2015. So the ISK was established since the beginning, and it functions today as an autonomous branch of Islamic State. Islamic State has various branches, so they're autonomous. One of the reasons for its massive support was that Afghanistan was home to various militants who aspired to follow a more radical and globally oriented group. Another reason is that the Muslim communities in this country were very influenced by Salafization. So, still in Afghanistan, there were militants who were previously affiliated with Al-Qaeda, with the Taliban actually, but they joined the more radical group ISK. And they follow Salafism. Salafism is a very extreme, radical branch of Islam, which is very extreme and dangerous. The next section is discussion and conclusion. Let's look at some recent events posed by ISK. On January 1st, 2023, like 1 year ago, there was an explosion at the military airport in Kabul. It left 20 killed and 30 wounded. There was an election in Pakistan in the summer last year, and there was some political religious party which was targeted, and Islamic State also took responsibility for this terrorist act, which left 60 dead and more than 100 injured. Actually, Islamic State today is characterized by a decline, it's restructuring. Many specialists believed that it is in decline, but actually my hypothesis in my article is that it is still dangerous, it is still a threat. And it has been suggested that it may launch deadly insurgencies in 2024, like now it's 2024. A very recent example was the 4th anniversary of Soleimani, a military commander in Iran who was killed by the Americans 4 years ago. So there was mourning of this guy, and Islamic State ISK sent 2 terrorists who detonated themselves, and they killed more than 100 people. This was directed against the Shiites. Islamic State hates the Shia in Iran. So, like in my article that you can read, you'll see that Islamic State Khorasan province, on the picture you see this place Khorasan, it's still a danger. Actually, the Taliban government has taken actions in Afghanistan to defeat the ISK, but still it is a threat. And there are many other actors in the region, like recently there was election in Pakistan and other organization made a terrorist act just maybe 10 days ago or something like this. So, according to me, Islamic State, it's reviving again. It's becoming powerful again. The IS core will emphasize on ISK to consolidate strength, find new recruits, and promote meaningful propaganda. Since its official foundation in 2015, the group has risen and fallen many times, but has managed, however, to adapt to changing circumstances. The ISK is still an actor. It makes actions during religious or political events. And whenever there is some religious or political event, it strikes. So according to me, it is still a factor, but I have to discuss more and examine more, like bombings, explosions in this region. I focus particularly on Central Asia, on ISK active in Central Asia. There are other affiliates in Africa, the main one in Iraq and Syria, but my emphasis is on Central Asia. Here you can see the references. These are all the references from the article I have written. In this PPT, I use some of them by Al Jazeera, some like people who have investigated, like Amira Jadun, and others. So the Islamic State in Afghanistan and Pakistan, called ISK, it's still active in these countries in Central Asia as a whole, and it's still a threat. Thanks. Have a good day.